Well, 6 months ago, I bought a machine that I had never owned before, and today I'm getting another one. Today we're taking a look at the delivery of the ST30Y reboot from Haas Automation. The first thing that we caught is that the sheet metal on the front of the machine is actually a little bit lower than the casting. So the guys went back to the truck. You're gonna put some blocks on the forks. That way they can lift it and not damage the sheet metal. New machine, new learning. So they just set the machine in place. We got it nice and square. Right off the bat, looking at other ST20s and 30s I've seen, if you remember, the sheet metal used to come out and then up. This is a more compact design. It's actually an entire 13 inches shorter or more narrow than the previous ST30, and a little skinnier front to back because of the flat face. I really like that. Now they are bringing in the bar feeder. Let's check that out. So the machine is in place, the ST30Y. Let's do a quick walk around. Now, the first thing that is totally new to me is the Haas bar feeder. We did this because the intent for this machine is to just let it run and leave it alone. On our other two machines, we feed them bars maybe every, depending on the length of part, every 45 minutes to 4 hours. It's a really wide thing. But the nice thing about the Haas bar feeder is we just load it and let it go. Also nice thing, you can put random length bars in it. It measures it optically, communicates that back to the machine, and does the appropriate moves. Okay, let's talk about some of the options I got with the machine. So this is an ST30Y with a sub spindle. Now that hasn't always been an option with these machines. If you wanted this size of machine, you would have had to have purchased the DS30, which has a sub spindle. So this is kind of a smaller form factor, not as large as the DS30, but just as capable. It has a 10-inch chuck on the main and an 8-inch chuck on the sub. The other options I got, because we want this just run lights out if we need to, is a probe that will take diameters, lengths of the part, things like that, and it has a tool probe that folds down automatically, touches off, and goes right back up, as well as the part probe that looks a lot like the spindle probes in a vertical machining center, just made by Marpos, not Renishaw. Now, keeping in line with the intent for this machine, which is to just let it run, we got the chip conveyor. I was honestly a little bit on the fence about this because it seems a bit lazy to not scoop chips out by hand. But with the auto door option, which is kind of borderline lazy, I don't know, we've got an auto door that we hooked up on our VF2, and I'm not sure I would ever get another machine without an auto door. So I thought, okay, if we're gonna be lazy, let's be lazy about taking chips out. Again, this machine is just meant to run, so we want those chips to get out so that they don't interfere. Let's go around the back of the machine. So a nice feature is that the coolant tank for these lathes is identical in design and function to the coolant tank on the VF series. This is a VF4SS. So this tank, unassembled, it hasn't been installed yet, but it rolls right in, rolls right out. We have nice access to that. Let's keep going. Now, one of the things that comes standard on the ST30Y with the subspindle is a cabinet cooler. So right now it just has this panel that's going to be taken off at installation, and literally a little air conditioning unit gets bolted on to keep the electronics cool and functioning. So this is the back side of the bar feeder, really nice. You can load it from the back. It's got these stainless steel runners that you just feed, again, random length bars. That's nice. Again, they're optically measured, goes in. This bar feeder communicates to the Haas control and tells it when a new bar is coming in or an old one is out. With the bar feeder, one of the things I purchased was the interface kit, which came with a lot of nice things, including spindle liners. So spindle liners go into the bore, and you put the right liner that matches your bar. That way, when it's fed in, it doesn't whip while it's turning. So we actually got the entire set in from their smallest, I want to say like a 1/4 inch, all the way up to the maximum bore size of 3 inches. Really nice to have these. Don't run a lathe without them. So besides some of the options I've already shown you, let me rattle off a list. It has 1 GB memory, 4,000 RPM spindle, auto door, 10-inch chuck on the main, 8-inch chuck on the sub. It comes with chucks, hydraulic chucks, but we're gonna put on the Royal Quick Grip system, QG80 and QG65. The QG80 goes up to being able to hold a 4-inch part. QG65, I think it's 3-inch maximum. But again, the draw tube is 3 inches, so the most we can actually push through is 3 inches. We have parts, if they're gonna be like machined out of soft jaws in a quick grip collet, you can go up to 4 inches on that. Early power failure detection, because sometimes in Southern California we have brownouts in the summer when everyone's running their AC. Ethernet, remote monitoring, Haas drop. We have obviously the media display, so we can display videos and images for setups. Safe run, which is nice when you're running this and you're doing a setup. If you bump a tool and it expects or it receives a load on the motors that it doesn't expect, it will alarm out and stop. Wi-Fi connection, cabinet cooler, and best of all, a 12-station bolt-on live tooling turret. Now that really opens up a lot of options when making parts. Again, they just are machined, almost parts that you would see coming off a mill. We can bar feed and we can have one and done parts. If they fit within a 3-inch diameter bar, we can make them complete on this machine. So next up, the electrician is coming. We're gonna get up high, send air to the machine, send electrical, and then in the next day, we're gonna have the Haas technicians come set that up. Hey guys, it's Monday morning. The technician from Haas is here getting the machine installed. Over the weekend, we hooked up air and power to the machine. We are so close to making chips. After we break in the spindle, we're gonna load tools, load our programs, and start making some parts. So if you wanna see that, that's in the next episode. So if you haven't already done so, subscribe, hit that notification button so you can be the first one to catch that episode. And until then, go innovate your production.